Thank you. Councillor Carroll to speak.
Thanks, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wrote my comments this morning, and not many motions have changed them, and so I'm just going to leave them as is. I think we have to stop for a moment and think about something. No one calls the police on a person in crisis or for a loved one in crisis, hoping that the police will respond, draw their guns, and shoot. And to be really clear, no officer proceeds to that call hoping that that's what's going to happen when he gets there. Putting in place an alternative response to calls for persons in crisis is something that non-governmental organizations have been advocating since long before the defund movement, long before the BLM movement. Police chiefs and police services have been advocating for help with mental health responses ever since the deconstruction of the mental health care system in this province, probably the nation. Getting this pilot, the pilot staff are proposing off the ground with the wraparound buy-in of city, of police, of the mental health support community is nothing short of revolutionary. I don't call it slow walking for it to be before us now. I call it revolutionary. It is crucial that we let our staff and the agencies that they will be calling on to proceed, to actually be allowed to proceed, to make a success of this, to provide better and more supportive responses, to in fact save lives with those outcomes. I know that all of us, every councillor is under tremendous political pressure to make a success of this, to change the way we respond, particularly to persons in crisis. But we can't just make that response look different. We have to roll up our sleeves and actually make it different. And that requires all of the above to really be on board, including the police. And that's what staff are endeavoring to do here. That's what the mayor's motion goes on to reinforce. If we really believe in what we voted for in July, and most of us did, and if we believe in that, then we really have to stand by its implementation. If you haven't already read this word for word, you need to actively support it. So go back and read this whole proposal word for word. I'm comforted when I read it, and I'm comforted when I attend executive and I hear the answers of staff, that this is an evolving, this is an iterative pilot. The things within it that are winners can and will be rolled out across the city as long as we have the courage next year to hear any new resource requests that comes as this pilot goes along. That will be up to us to be courageous about. I'm also comforted by the conversations I've had so far with the police service officers that have been dispatched to support the ongoing implementation of this pilot. They're already dealing with that. They're already getting ready to do it. So adopt it today. Heartily support the mayor's motion that allows us to look at 911 as well. This can't be about saving face for politicians, saving face for police officers, or even saving face for the activists that have brought us here to this point right now. This really has to be about the Andrew Lokus, the Michael Elegants, the Regis Korchinski Paquettes of the world. They should have called, and when they first called, desperate for help and support. All three of them are cases where there were all sorts of calls for mental health support beforehand, and they didn't get it then. They need to get far more robust response the first time they're calling 911 in crisis than the last time they called, the time that resulted in their deaths. And that's what this pilot is about. That's what choosing this different form of response than just the police lens means. That we'll be dispatching people that can take the extra time, that can give the whole day if necessary to begin to connect people to the services they need. My goodness, in the pilot areas in Scarborough and Etobicoke, where those agencies are lacking and we're going to have to fortify them, we need this right now. And staff are moving as quickly as they can. Don't ask them to write report upon report upon report. Ask them to get this thing done. And so it becomes our normal form of response. I'm 100% behind them. now and going forward. And the motions that support them being able to go forward and get the work done are the ones that I'll be supporting. The mayor's motion about 911 is very important to me. Puts
5
an entirely
seconds.
new lens on it. And I hope that all of you will read it and actively communicate it to your wards.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.